What's up, everybody? I hope you're fine. I hope you're doing well. And I would appreciate if you can smash the subscribe button, smash the like button like never before. In this video, I just want us to listen to what the father of Roger Fortson said about him or about the whole situation. So who is Roger Fortson? Is the late senior US airman who was brutally disappeared by the police. But in this video, I just want us to hear what his father said about the whole situation. Because I always say there's nothing, absolutely nothing, that can break a relationship between a father and a son. It cannot be poverty, it cannot be anything. Because sometimes there are things that your father can't afford to do for you, and there are things that you cannot afford to do for your father, but you are still useful. The world might have called you broke, useless, and etc. and etc. But you have to keep it in mind that you'll always be useful to your father. The reason your father wants you to do well in life is because he doesn't want you to be useless when it comes to this important assignment that I'm going to talk about in this video. But right now, I just want you to hear what his father said about the whole situation.
Without anything where everybody forgets about him and he's swept under the rug. Well, we're not going to let them sweep Roger Fortson under the rug. Saying justice for Roger and making the case, then there will be no judgment. And that's why we have to go through painstaking efforts with all these emotions from these mothers and fathers and these siblings, because they know all too well in America, if they don't come up here, even while they're grieving, and fight for justice, they won't have any chance at getting justice. We know that from Freddie Gray, Michael Brown, Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, Terrence Crutcher, Eric Gardner, Breonna Taylor. The list goes on and on. We have to call them to account, because if we don't do it, they won't do anything. And so people who criticize us talking about we're doing a rush to judgment, not doing anything, how has that worked out for black people in America? So that's why we're here, demanding justice for Roger Fortson. And at this time, Mika, you ready? Wilburn address you about his son and how special he was. Roger.
Yeah, he was a good man. I had seen him in January. He had came to LA. He had came to LA. Steve was had a good conversation. I was letting him know that I was going to do better, and that we was with each other. And then I just, like I said, we just hugged each other. Just enjoy being with each other. But then after that, I called him on his birthday, and he was happy, and we would chopped it up, and he told me that he was gonna make a trip to come back out and come see me, but he never got the chance. We never got the chance to finish what we was setting out to do. We didn't get to finish what we was setting out to do. I'm gonna miss him. And no, I didn't think I was gonna be burying him. I figured he'd be burying me. And I felt like that all my life, though. The way I was living my life, but I just can't believe it. And I'm gonna miss him.
Thank you, Roger. Now you hear from his sister, Raven, from Los Angeles.
So right now, I just want to say, this man, we hear him say, I didn't expect to bury him, but I expected him to bury me. In other words, the father or his father expected Roger to be the one to bury him, not the other way around. But unfortunately, it happened like that because he was brutally assassinated. So this is very important to a father. That is why I always say there's absolutely nothing that can break a relationship between a father and a son. Even if the world can call you broke and so on and so on. But there's something that you need to understand here. The reason your father wants you to make right decisions in your life is because he doesn't want you to forget him. Not because your father is expecting you to build him a big house, to do all those things, or to buy him a car, and etc. and etc. Even if you can be broke, even if you cannot afford to do certain things for your father, but your father is expecting you to bury him. That is why it's a taboo not to bury your father. It's a great taboo, or it's a big taboo here in Africa to fight against your father or not to bury your father. So this man here was honest. He said, I wasn't expecting me to be the one burying him, but I was expecting him to bury me. This is what your father expects from you, even if you cannot afford to do certain things, because we have to understand that life is otherwise. Sometimes there are things you can afford to do for your father, but there are things that you cannot do to your father because maybe you cannot afford or you don't afford. But you cannot say, I can't afford to bury my father. Why? Because that's the only thing your father is expecting out of you. That is why when a father gives birth to a son, he has already given you that responsibility, that this one is the one who's going to bury me. Because it's painful to see a parent, to see a father, to see a mother burying his own child. Talking from experience, it was painful for me to bury my father and my mother. It was very painful. Hear me correctly. It was very painful. But I think it was not as painful as if it was my father or my mother who buried me. Yes, it was painful, but it's not the same. Why? Because when a father gives birth to a son, he has already assigned you with that responsibility that you are going to be the one to bury him. So if you are a young man, that is why it is very important to make the right decisions in life so that you won't forget your father, because it's a taboo to forget your father. You shouldn't do that at all. You should never forget your father, and you should not allow anything to break your relationship with your father. Some people may call your father a deadbeat and etc. and etc. They can use all these kinds of words, but never allow those words to sink into your heart, because biologically there's absolutely nothing that can break a relationship between you and your father. When a father gives birth to a son, it's like, even if I can go to the ends of the world, my son will bring me back and bury me. I would appreciate if you can smash the like button, smash that subscribe button like never before.